Welcome to Edwards Beyond the Test, a podcast that goes behind the scenes of the flight test mission at Edwards Air Force Base. I'm Dawn Waldman from the 412 Test Wing Public Affairs. Located at every Air Force installation are School Liaison Specialists, who are the central point of contact for commanders, military families, and local school systems on school-related matters for grades pre-K through 12. The School Liaison Specialist here at Edwards is quite the dynamo, and with the COVID-related changes to the 2020 school year, now is a good time to meet her and learn about the services provided by her office. It is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Candace Lang, who is the Edwards School Liaison Specialist for the 412th Force Support Squadron's Child and Youth Education Service. Candace, welcome, and thank you for taking my virtual meeting today.
Thank you, Dawn, for having me.
Well, Candace, to start with, let's talk about the current school year. It's brand new, it's just beginning, but because of COVID, how is it being held?
Well, school began on Monday, August 17th for our on-base schools. And because of the state monitoring list, our schools and all the surrounding schools in the Antelope Valley are 100% distance learning at this time. It's often referred to as remote learning.
Well, as we have started the school year with remote learning, what challenges do you feel our students and families are facing?
Dawn, there is no doubt about it. There will definitely be some challenge as we navigate through this crisis. You know, I've talked to a lot of families, and the challenges will be different for different groups of people. Our homeschool families that have done this, they may see this as business as usual, but those families that this distance learning from home concept is very new. And I talked with a parent the other day that said, wow, you know, how am I going to help my high schooler with pre-calculus when I don't even understand it, and I have a younger child at home that I need to tend to? So there are definitely some challenges. I think even for the teachers, there are going to be challenges. Most teachers didn't sign up to teach from a computer, you know, for in-person instruction schooling. So teachers will have challenges, and I think our kids will also have to make a lot of adjustments as well. And I talked with a parent just last night. Her child is going to be beginning kindergarten this year. And she's heartbroken because, you know, kindergarten, that's a rite of passage. And he will be doing kindergarten from a computer. So another challenge, I think, with this distance learning is how is it going to impact our children's social emotional development? You know, our students now have to interact with their peers and their friends in ways that support that, you know, physical distancing. Things like school dances, for example, sports, and even extracurricular activities. Those are all experiences that our kids are not able to fully participate in like they have been accustomed to prior to this pandemic.
Well, as our school liaison specialist, is there things that you can offer to the family and their students to help them through this?
Yes, thank you for asking. There are many resources and various sources of information that I can assist families with to help support them through these times. I have been sending out specifically some information on parent webinars, such topics like school options during COVID-19. An important one coming up next week is parent involvement in staying connected to your child's teacher, and even organizational tips for your unorganized child, just to name a few. So these free webinars are sponsored. They're through the Military Child Education Coalition, and in some instances, the Child and Youth Education Services, the School Liaison Program. So if parents would like more information, I can send them the registration links so they are registered for these classes. In addition, I have a variety of online learning resources on my School Liaison webpage, and it's under the Edwards Air Force Base homepage under the Education tab. Yeah, one resource that I am really excited about that I want to share with families that I think will be very helpful, it's called tutor.com for military families. This program is funded by the Department of Defense and Coast Guard Mutual Assistance, and it provides online tutoring and homework help at no cost to our eligible service members, civilian personnel, and their dependents.
It is so wonderful that all of these online opportunities have seemingly popped up and are available to our families and students.
I have plenty of resources, Dawn, and if families email me, I can provide resources on a variety of topics, anything from like scholarships to even non-screen activities that families can do together with their children, as well as tips for self-care, for example. It's really important for our parents to have some quality time for themselves as well.
So, Candace, let's talk about your job as the school liaison specialist. And you, by the way, are the most passionate one I've ever known. How long have you worked in this field, and what are your responsibilities?
Well, I've been the school liaison since March of 2019. And prior to being the school liaison, I served as the training and curriculum specialist for the Child Development Center and school age programs. I was the assistant director at the Child Development Center for a period of time. And several years ago, I was the family child care coordinator right here on Edwards Air Force Base. As far as responsibilities, it's mainly to serve as the liaison for all school-related matters and concerns. And another responsibility, Dawn, that I take to heart is advocating for quality education and assisting our families with smoother transitions for our military-connected students. Our kids serve too. Did you know that military children move on average 6 to 9 times during their kindergarten to 12th grade school years? Military child education is a huge focus right now. It's a quality of life initiative, and it's strongly related to military retention and readiness. And I can say I'm very proud to say that our leadership takes the education of our kids very seriously. It is a top priority for our 412th Test Wing Commander.
Candace, I can certainly footstomp that, as I recently recorded an episode of Beyond the Test with Brigadier General Higer to talk about the Crisis Task Force schools. That is episode number 22 and is available online for those who want to learn more. So, Candace, when a family learns they're going to move to Edwards, do they reach out to you, or are you already in touch with them? How does that work?
Great question. I receive a listing of incoming families that are PCSing to Edwards, and they receive a welcome message from me, introducing myself, explaining the school liaison program. So families already have a connection to the schools and school information before they even arrive.
So are you able to assist them with both on and off-base schools?
Yes. I can provide families information and points of contacts for public schools, private schools, school choice programs, and even connect them with the folks at the Exceptional Family Member Program for families that have children with individualized educational plans for special education.
Okay, and Candace, what about the families who prefer to homeschool? Do you also have resources for them?
Yes, I have had several families reach out to me who are now considering homeschooling due to COVID. And I do have some general information on homeschooling options in the state of California, resources and links for further information. I've also been expanding my networking to include families who have experience with homeschooling. So if there are families contemplating the homeschool option, they can email me and I can connect them with some experienced homeschool parents out there who can offer some like insider information on the pros and cons of homeschooling, the rewards, the challenges, and even they may even be able to offer tips for success.
Well, Candace, on a personal note, as a civilian, I brought my own son out to Edwards starting in his 6th grade, and he graduated from Desert High, which is all part of the Muroc Unified School District. He's gone on, done very well, and I have to say the on-base schools are really awesome, and the level of education is so impressive.
Sure. My daughter actually graduated from Desert High School many years ago.
Well, now that we're talking about people graduating from Desert High, a great fact to share is that our new commandant of the U.S. Air Force Test Pilot School right here at Edwards is the first ever female commandant and a graduate of Desert High School. We're talking about Colonel Sabrina Paban.
That is awesome, an awesome fact that our first female commandant of our test pilot school actually graduated from Desert High School.
Well, Candace, you do more than reach out to our incoming families. You also provide resources for their next location when that time comes around. Tell us about that.
Yes, in addition to inbound families, I also receive a listing of families leaving Edwards and I can connect them with their gaining school liaison at their next installation. So it's important, I believe, for military families to have someone they can reach out to for school information during those permanent change of station moves.
Well, that is good to know. Candace, is there anything that you would like to add?
Sure, thank you. I do want parents to know that they are first and foremost their child's most important teacher. And I do understand, I empathize with our family's challenges this year as we navigate through this pandemic through distance learning. Parents definitely influence their children's attitude about learning, and they can set them up for success by staying positive. Don, I was a guest at a squadron's recent virtual town hall, and one of the airmen offered a very important suggestion for parents, and that is to remember the value of play when it comes to your kids. You know, COVID has kind of taught me to slow down a bit and reflect on what's really important. And when making time for some family fun, you know, whether it's cooking, dancing, and yes, even learning together, you're creating strong family memories that will last a long time. And when I served as the training curriculum specialist at the Child Development Center, I did have a board outside my office with my weekly inspirational sayings for our staff. And I wanted to share some inspiration I found from, believe it or not, Mr. Fred Rogers. I'm aging myself, but I kind of grew up watching him on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Can I share it with you now?
Of course.
Okay. Many times throughout their lives, children will feel the world has turned topsy-turvy. It's not the ever-present smile that'll help them feel secure. It's knowing that love can hold many feelings, including sadness, and that they can count on the people they love to be with them until the world turns right side up again.
Well, that's very nice. Thank you for that, Candace. Well, before I let you go, please share with us what it means to you to be working right here at Edwards at the center of the aerospace testing universe.
You know, one of my favorite things to do is to talk to families. So I think because I love to talk, being the school liaison is the perfect job for me. But seriously, prior to the pandemic, I was able to host high school students throughout the Antelope Valley for their STEM-focused field trip out here to Edwards. And I was able to see firsthand the amazing work that our military and civilian folks do here on a daily basis. And I do feel I have a deeper understanding and appreciation for our mission. And I'm very grateful to be able to serve and support that mission as your school liaison.
And Candace, we are very grateful to have you here on our team. As promised, here is the link to reach the school liaison, as well as information about our STEM program. Just go to www.edwards.af.mil and click on the Education tab. Many thanks to today's guest, Ms. Candace Lang, for taking time out to share her story and taking us beyond the test. Thanks to all for joining us. I'm Dawn Waldman for Edwards Beyond the Test.